let's talk about the real estate market real quick, because you're also here because you're curious about the market, okay? So a couple months ago, okay, we had about 2,900 properties on the market. That was March and April. I believe March and April of this year was probably the best time to sell your house because there was no competition. We were having bid wars like crazy. We're still having them, but not as many, okay? And I'm noticing buyers coming in with lower offers, and that's because inventory increased about 700 homes on the market.
Right, supply and demand, old-fashioned supply and demand.
Yeah, and we're still well under inventory numbers, but I want you to keep in mind here that, 700 houses across 39 municipalities, that's a lot of extra houses on the market. And again, now buyers are kind of getting a little bit more power here, and we're seeing some lowball offers starting to happen again.
I would imagine that's at least 20 per municipality extra.
Yeah, exactly. And well, you're good with numbers, and I guess you better be, right, as a financial planner.
So.
Yeah. Now keep this in mind too. Pendings, okay? There's 2,729 pendings. That is virtually the same number of pendings that there was when there was 2,800 homes on the market as active, okay? So the number of pendings is staying the same. The level of buyers out there is the same, but there's more sellers coming to market because they wanted to wait. They felt that maybe the summertime was a better time. I really don't see our inventory crossing the 4,500 to 5,000 threshold this year, which is still a really great time to sell.
And pending meaning pending sale. There's a purchase and sales agreement. Somebody's getting financing to close on the transaction. That's pending. Okay.
Thank you. Exactly. Yeah. So a pending could mean, that they're still, waiting for the inspection period, that they're waiting for the appraisal. It could be a cash deal as well. But pending is when there's a contract between buyer and seller, and the sellers agreed to sell, buyers agreed to buy.
Do we have any idea how many of the pendings actually go to fruition? Like, what's the breakage there? Is it maybe 5% don't close, 10% don't close, for whatever reason? Good cause, bad cause, no cause at all. There's got to be a number.
That's a good question. I would say a lot of the ones that don't close, and I don't have that exact number. My guess would probably be around, I would say, between 3 and 7% of transactions might not close from what I've seen. Okay. And that's actually a lot lower than a couple of years back when financing was very hard to get. Now financing is fairly easy to get.
Yes, it is. It's the banks are making it very easy now.
So yeah, with the inventory being down still, it's still a great time to sell. Homes are still selling, around that 95% of list price range across Rhode Island. That teeters from time to time.
So what's hot and what's not?
What's
locally,
hot and what's not?
Yes.
Well, I would say that.
Which municipalities are hot?
Oh, man. Actually, West Warwick, hot.
Hot.
You know why?
Investment. A lot of investment properties there. A lot of rental income to offset the mortgage.
Well, a lot of yes, but the single-family market in West Warwick is super hot right now because it's affordable, okay? And you're finding places like Cranston, Warwick, towns like that, which are also super hot. You're finding as West Warwick as a really great option that buyers are looking at, and it's a little bit less of a competitive market. So they're going up against less buyers, and they're getting a little bit more of a house.
A little more affordable, a little more house for their dollar there.
Absolutely.
And West Warwick is pretty close to everything within Warwick off of Route 2 and 95. You can access Coventry and Cranston from it. It's not bad.
Up north, Cumberland, hot, super hot market. North Smithfield is a sleeper market, and Burrillville as well. Those are two really hot markets, okay? And Burrillville stuff takes a little bit longer to sell, but you can get a house, the same house in Burrillville, probably I would say 5-10% less than you would in North Smithfield. In North Smithfield, you can get one heck of a house and pay such low taxes.
Is that just because it's more rural?
Yeah, it's a bit more rural. And what surprises me actually is that the prices in North Smithfield especially are not a bit higher than they are. And they're good. I mean, it's a great time to sell over there, great time to buy over there. But because it's so close to Massachusetts, we find a lot of folks from Massachusetts finding that North Smithfield taxes are pretty comparable to Mass taxes.
I got to tell you, if I worked in Boston, I'd be living around Burrville and I'd be taking the train right out of Attleboro.
Yeah, exactly.
Commuting in.
It's really not a bad drive. So you jump on 146 to 295, you're right in Attleboro, you know, and in the school system, again, especially in North Smithfield, super hot. I would also say Coventry, okay? And I know Coventry has its issues with the fire department and this and that, you know, but, you know, and taxes are a little high over there.
They're a little high.
Okay, but I gotta say it's a pretty good town. West Greenwich is by far one of my favorite towns. Okay, we're seeing a lot of activity in West Greenwich, and then South Kingstown, North Kingstown, East Greenwich, and let's talk about the East Bay real quick. East Providence. East Providence is a phenomenal place to live. Super low taxes.
I had a client
Safe.
put a house in Middletown on the market, walking distance to Easton's Beach.
Yep.
And they had 2 showings in the first 2 days and 1 call with an offer sight unseen. And it sold. It went on the market, I want to say on Wednesday or Thursday, and it was sold on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
That fast. And full asking price. And I think that it may have even been able to go into a competitive bid situation, but they didn't want to gamble. They were being reasonable.
Middletown is a hot market as well. Barrington, super hot. I mean, look, there's 39 municipalities here in Rhode Island, and I would say out of 39, I would say 30 of them are all phenomenal sellers markets, okay? Middletown as well being one of them. So this is good stuff. It's exciting to see this because a couple years ago we weren't seeing this. Now is the time where most Americans have equity in their home. Foreclosures, short sales are now down under 1.8%, I believe it is, which is
there's a lot less bargain to be had out there. For short sales and foreclosures, I see less of them.
There really is, but there's still a growing number of investors hitting the market looking for estate sales and all of that. And, you know, if you have somebody that's looking to sell a house fast and they want to sell it to a cash buyer, contact me. I've got a list of about 12 cash buyers.
Let's say somebody wants to sell their house and they missed the March and April rush to get their house on the market. We're now in June.
Yes.
What would you tell them? Would you tell them wait till September to put it on, or would you tell them move now and get it listed?
No, we're in a very, very strong market. So don't get me wrong, super strong market, and stuff is still selling in about 70 days on average. Okay. Some towns are selling as quick as 30 days on average.
Because I would think now is really critical if you're even thinking about it.
Higher
this
end.
hour is critical because of people that want to move and get their children settled into school.
Yeah.
Even if it's a couple of weeks of commuting them in, you got an hour of opportunity right now to consider and jump on it.
Yep, that's right. And especially if you're in the higher end markets, and I'm talking, you know, 500 plus, you know, now is a super great time. And again, we've sold houses in the middle of December and January. So, you know, that can happen as well. But now is a phenomenal time. If you got questions, I mean, I'll be straight up with you. And if I'm not the guy for the job, I'll refer, you know, somebody that I feel is. But really, I mean, there's not a lot that we haven't done or where we haven't worked or we haven't sold in Rhode Island. It's so small. You can get anywhere, you know, in half an hour or 45 minutes. So thanks for staying tuned.